Hi guys, and welcome to Silver Screen Society. I am your host, Ore, and anytime that you're here, expect us to talk about real good stuff about TV and film. I am joined today by a very special guest, a man of many opinions. His name is Scully, but you can introduce yourself, Scully. Tell the people what they want to hear.
Hi, I'm Scully, and I watch so much stuff to just avoid staring into the abyss. I guess that's it. I'm always watching stuff all the time. Ask me if I've seen that film 8 out of 10 times, I probably have. That's it. That's what I want to tell them. That's what I want to lead with today.
Nice.
Also, one day I'm going to be a director.
Love that. Yeah. That the main goal? I didn't know that. That's cool.
I want to just do better stuff.
One of the main goals.
Yeah. I just want to do better stuff. That's fun. But I'm going to definitely direct a film.
Okay. Nice. I like that. Today we will be talking about what we consider to be the greatest films of all time. It's a very contentious subject. I've actually been racking my brain about it for, I was going to say weeks. I'm not sure that's true, but it's been a long time that I've been thinking about it. But before we get into it, I'm going to start with a little segment. Segment we always kind of start with is unpopular opinion.
Okay.
So, Scully, what I would love for you to do is to tell the people something that you think about TV and film that you stand by, you stand on it, you believe it to be true, but you know it is an unpopular opinion.
About TV and film. Okay. Oh, I got bare of these. Okay, first of all, man of many opinions, you got me started. Paid in Full is underrated because it's a black movie. By black people as well, by the way. It's underrated. People think...
Underrated on like the wider scale of cinema.
Yes,
right?
But that's also because the way it was released and all of this. I think the biggest problem is that because of the type of people that like Paid in Full, people think the film was worse than it is. Because there's a typical, like, the teenage boy who maybe he did a few light petty crimes, like really light petty crimes, like he sold a couple 10 bags, did F for like £200, had the Meek Mill picture with the notes by his ill on BlackBerry, like that kind of guy. Oh, he's got the chain, but really and truly, that chain is from a chain store like Claire's. That's not even 12 carat. They love Paid in Full, and because of that, people think Paid in Full is a worse film than it is.
Than it
like,
is,
well,
yeah.
I don't like the people that like the film. No, but the film is actually good. Like, as a gangster film, it is a really good.
I get that notion because we were talking about this earlier. We were talking about like mafia films. And the reason I put off watching mafia films for so long was because it was the favourite film of boys. And I thought boys were stupid. So I was like, what do they know?
There is a type of fan. There's a type of
which
fan.
Which is bad. It's bad. But that was the thinking.
I can't remember the UK rapper it was, but there's a UK rapper. Someone asked him their favourite films, and they literally said Scarface, Goodfellas.
Do you know what I mean? So I'd hear things like that and I was like, okay.
So I get it. I actually get it. But the difference is, you see, like, you can be a white man, and say, my favourite film is Goodfellas, and nobody will think anything. And if you're black, you say, my favourite film is Paid in Full, everyone's like,
of course it is.
Oh, black people. Goodfellas and Godfather are on another level, but every other gangster film, Paid in Full can have some chat for a lot of them, like a lot of them. We just look at them fondly. But that's my unpopular opinion.
So what we're going to do with our greatest films of all time, what we're going to do is we'll go from number 3 down to number 1. So we'll end on number 1.
Okay.
Pressure. Okay, so what we're going to do, we'll start with what is number 3 on our list. I'll start so that, it can alleviate some pressure from you. I don't know why I'm nervous. Why am I nervous?
It's not pressure, the 3 films.
Do you know what it is? Sorry, I'm actually just going to throw this out as a disclaimer. The list that I verbalize right now, if you ask me again next month and it's different, don't ask any questions.
That's the only thing
just
I don't
leave
feel
me
pressure
about. Don't ask me any questions. I might have had a thought, I might have had a dream, I might have watched a new film. Just let it go. But as of right now,
you're human,
today,
you're allowed to change.
Thank you. As of right now, today, this is how I feel. Okay. And the third personal greatest film for me, I'm gonna go with Shrek 2.
Oh my days. You know why that's hilarious? Okay.
I'm going with Shrek 2.
Fair enough.
there's a few reasons as to why I'm going. I know I've got my hand on my heart. I feel really passionate about it.
I hear it. When you hear what my number 3 is, this is going to be so funny.
Really? Okay. So there's a few reasons as to why I'm going with Shrek 2. First reason, I actually love animated films. I think when animated films are done correctly, they are so good. I think there's something about... So obviously, when you think of like a film, when I think of a film anyway, I think of like, the shots and what it looks like and the direction and the acting and all these different elements. And I think there's something about, obviously they're still directed, but there's something about thinking about like the technicality of animation for me that's like, this is mad. That this is like, that someone created this on a computer. Like, this is crazy. So that's number one. Number two, I actually think genuinely the voice acting in that is actually
it's insane.
It is crazy. The script, the writing is so funny. It's actually timelessly funny as well. And I don't even know what I was laughing at when I was watching it and I was like 10 or whatever, however old I was when it came out. I don't actually know what it was that I found funny because it can't be what I find funny now. And I think that's so good. And I think that's the mark of like a good... Yeah, but I think that's the mark of like a good made for kids but kind of made for everyone animated film. So I think it's so good at that.
Animated things.
Yeah, same.
Like I like Adventure Time, innit? Like Simpsons, stuff like that.
Exactly.
The film that I've got at number 3. Like
but I think it's so good.
Because the entire point is like, yeah, there's jokes for kids and you like it at this age and you get older. Like I still rewatch Simpsons, and I'm like, oh my God, this is what they're referencing.
That's mad. Exactly.
I didn't know.
Exactly.
Like I thought I saw this when I was 8 years old. I had no idea about this. Like,
I actually love it. And then the final reason as to why I've put Shrek 2 at number 3 for me is a sequel's really hard to make. They're really hard. I've never made a film, but I know it's hard. I know that any kind of follow-up to anything, it's like a season 2 of a TV show is hard to make, especially if your season 1 goes off, people love it. It's hard. It's hard to follow up something that was already good, and people love Shrek. Shrek is great. It's a great film. A sequel's really hard to make, and it's so much better than the first one. I think that's actually crazy that it's better than the first. I think that level of difficulty and the fact that they hit it is mad to me. And I just think it's a great film. You should watch it.
Puss in Boots 2 if you haven't seen it.
Puss in Boots 2 is great.
Yeah, incredible film.
It's great.
Incredible film. Like, genuinely.
So good.
One of the best films I think it came out 2022.
It's so good. And I remember when I went to go and watch it in cinema and there was just bare kid, obviously. And I also went, to be fair, on like a Saturday afternoon. So it's like peak kid time.
Yeah, kid time, you gotta go. And
it was me and my sister just sitting at the back and there's bare kids just like giggling. But what they were giggling at and what we, like it was literally at different times. So they're giggling, but then me and my sister and like the parents are giggling at a different thing. And it was just like, this is mad. So good. Anyway, yeah, Shrek 2, that's what I'm putting at number 3. Scully, take it away.
I'm gonna bring out my animated film. The animated film I'm going to go for has to be an anime film. If you know me, you know I like anime. And for that reason, it has to be a Studio Ghibli film. And I think it's going to be... which one, though? See, the classic is people love Spirited Away.
I love Spirited Away.
People love Spirited Away. And that's the big, like the one that took off in the West. This. I think Princess Mononoke is the better film by far. But I have to say Spirited Away, just because of the impact. Princess Mononoke is like, that's a film that like, it's not even really a kid's film, it's just animated. And it's actually a film about like flipping environmental terrorists and like, and not like building too many buildings, like industrialization, all of this. Spirited Away is way more of a kid's film, but it's just so intense, like it's so beautiful. And I think it's the one that like, I've got little brothers my little brothers are much younger than me. It's the one that I would watch with them to show them this is what anime is. Like, this is what it looks like. This is like, it's like a Disney film, but it's not. Like, it's still very culturally separate. And like, it spawned so many things. I recently saw it in the Opera House, Royal Opera House in London.
Oh, nice.
Crazy. Like, the detail.
It's so good. I remember when it came out, I watched it. No, not when it came out. Whenever I decided to watch it, I was watching it on my laptop. And I remember halfway through thinking, I'm actually so jarred that I'm watching this on the laptop, but I'm in it now and I love it. But then last year, they did a special screening of it just before The Boy and the Heron came out. So then I got to watch it in a cinema.
Yeah.
And I was like, this
That's
is
exactly
it.
how I felt.
This is it.
I definitely didn't watch it in cinema first. I'm pretty sure I saw it on like I feel like it came out on DVD because it was actually quite a big Western success.
It was it was a whole thing.
Yeah. Like he got Oscar nominated and everyone was like, rah, like, and even now, like, The Boy and the Heron won the Oscar, but like, I'll be real, I'm a huge Ghibli fan, yeah. That Boy and the Heron is him trying to recapture Spirited Away. Like, it's a good film, there's good parts, but he's like, if you even follow the way the story arc goes, what happens, who's in it, like, people transforming, all that, like, I'm just like, this is the same film. He just flipped the genders a little bit, and, like, really and truly, like, it's the same. He's done it again type thing, but this is not Toy Story 2 or Shrek 2. It's not better than the original.
Yeah,
Spirited Away is it's cold.
Both gone animated for our number 3. What we'll do is take a tiny little break and we'll come over to this stunning spin the wheel. Okay. So we'll play a little game before we move on to number 2 and number 1.
What's game 1?
Number 1. Oh my God, okay. Number 1 is...
Like, oh my God could be like, yeah,
no,
sick.
I was reading
like,
it. I was
oh my
like,
God, oh, you're,
how does this work? Okay, number 1 is act it out. That's what it's called. The instructions are as follows. Guest must act out a famous scene from a TV show or movie. I will then have to guess the character and or the show or film that it's from.
Am I allowed to speak?
Yes. I feel like you're going to go something really obscure.
No,
and I'm
not
like,
at all.
oh my God. Oh, we've played this game before. Yeah, no. And I also couldn't guess it. It was actually quite embarrassing. And it ended up being Monsters, Inc., like a really easy thing.
Okay. I'll try and like censor myself. I can't do this without laughing. Hold on, let me get deep in my acting.
Get into the zone.
Because someone could cast me off this, innit? Oh, you motherfuckers! You want to do this to me? You think you can do this to me? I'm telling you, King Kong ain't got shit on me. I'm the king of this castle. When I come around here, all of y'all getting cases thrown on you.
That was so good. Wow. It was actually like Denzel was here with us. And also turn around. Did you see that before you started?
Maybe not. maybe subconsciously like in my head.
Maybe it was in your subconscious. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go with for number 2.
Why are you so shy?
I don't know. It's so much pressure. I'm really putting myself
Just
out
say it
there.
quickly because you said it's already out.
I'm going with Inception.
Okay, all right.
I'm going with Inception. Yeah. I just think it's so like... So again, let me go through the reasons as to why I think it's good. I think that the acting performances, again, I'm really... So I feel like some people... Especially like if you're like a real, like a film lover, you love going to cinema, you love watching films, you love watching TV, you love watching like visual stuff. Some people are really, they love the visuals, right? They think about when they watch a film, they're like, oh my God, the direction of this, the shots, the cinematography, the photography, that's where their mind goes. And then some people are very like acting performances, like the acting performances. Generally speaking, I'm an acting performance sort of girl. I tend to go with that. I'm like, oh, and I think before my sort of like, I don't know, my taste, I guess, like before my taste had developed, I kind of think that was the only thing I saw. I don't think I really took in things like, even things down to like the sets. I don't think I took that in really beyond like a basic level of understanding. And I think when I first watched Inception, so I watched it twice in cinema because there was so much hype around it at the time. I think I would have been like 16, maybe. I don't know. But I remember watching it twice in cinema. And the first time I watched it, I remember thinking, nah, acting sick. This is when I had my whole like Leonardo DiCaprio phase as well because I was like, he's the best actor in the world. Oh my God, I love him. Like,
do you know what? He's up there, man.
It wasn't a bad phase to be in, but...
Take this how you like, but he is to acting what Drake is to music.
Okay.
I mean that as a pure double-edged sword.
Yeah. I actually think I think I get where you're coming from. Yeah.
Like he's the best. He's definitely flawed, but he's the best.
But he's the
best.
I get that. Yeah, I do. And I think, like I said, so I was deep in my like, oh my God, Leonardo DiCaprio, like I love him. He's the best. And the acting performances, I think, in Inception are so good. It was the first film I'd watched. Obviously, again, like I'm saying, Leonardo DiCaprio and all the other people that I knew, but it was the first film I'd watched with Marion Cotillard. I didn't really know her before then. I just didn't. I think, actually, I was going to say, I think she'd just done a lot of French film before, but also I probably just hadn't watched the films that she'd been in because I was 15 or 16. But I remember thinking, nah, she's sick. Like, she's sick. And then I remember I watched it again, like maybe like a week later because I went with another friend that hadn't watched it or something. Went again a week later. And that was the first time, I'm telling on myself here because I was already like 16, it's like I was that young, but it was the first time that I'd taken in everything else that I was talking about, that I said that the other half of cinema lovers love. It was the first time I'd taken in that, like, nah, this is actually sick. Like, the direction is sick. Christopher Nolan has done something here. He's created a world. Like, I believe it. The sets are sick. The photography is sick. Like, I remember afterwards Googling, like, cinematography as a concept. Not even just the cinematography, just cinematography as a concept. And, like, looking at, like, oh, what does DOP mean? What does this mean? And really getting into it. And I think that's why I have to put it at number 2 for me as like a personal. I think it's so good. I think the story is strong. I think the acting performances are strong. But I think for me, that was the first film that pieced together all of the like film elements for me.
Nolan film in. I was trying to put a Nolan film in, but I decided not to. But Inception is a good one to go in. I think my number 2, and this can be wild. This one I'm going to get pelts for. Inception, I don't think people are going to chat what's about that. They're going to be like, yeah, great
Fair
film.
enough. Okay, I'm excited to hear yours.
The film I'm going to say is nuts, yeah, but you have to let me land, yeah? And it's Rush Hour. Rush Hour is one of the best films of all time for so many reasons. It has so many layers to it. It's an action, it's a comedy, but obviously they have like love interest through it. Like, it's genuinely one of the funniest films ever made. The choreography for all the fight scenes is incredible. The ad-libs, like, the way that they manage, and this is going to sound so nuts, yeah, but the way they manage to make the racism tasteful.
Yeah.
Yeah? Like, there's an art to comedy of saying wild things and things that could be disrespectful without them actually being disrespectful. And Rush Hour manages to do that consistently. Like, consistently.
I don't think that's a wild shout.
I think it's one that people wouldn't necessarily think of.
Yeah,
when you
yeah.
say what are the best films ever, but I just genuinely think it's so good. People have been asking for Rush Hour 3 for 20 years.
Like, I actually think as well, with comedies, again, I'm not a filmmaker, so there's no real basis as to what I'm standing on to say this, but I think they're so hard. I think it's so hard to be funny, even in general. Like, bare people aren't funny, even just as a generic statement.
Yeah.
So to actually like put pen to paper and write a feature film that is funny.
But this is the other thing, and it goes back to what you're saying about Shrek 2. I think there's that level, and then there's the other level of how could something be repeatedly funny? Like, so there's something that you watch, like, and people are going to get mad at this, but The Hangover, I really like The Hangover. The first time I saw The Hangover, yeah, I remember it because I was like 15, 16, yeah, and people were standing up clapping in the cinema.
It had a real effect. Like,
people were like, this is one of the funniest films ever. But the thing about The Hangover is the type of funny it is once you've seen it and you know what's going to happen, it's going to always be amusing, but it will never be as laugh out loud funny as it was the first time you saw it. It's like a diss track. Like, the first time you hear it, you're like, rah, and then like,
now you're just listening.
Yeah. Like, whereas Rush Hour is always funny. Like, it's just the type of film that no matter how many times I watch it, when I go watch it again, the way they've done the comedy, like, it's just genuinely, I think I'll be a granddad, like, showing my grandkids, hopefully great grandkids, like, yo, like,
this is the funniest.
This was comedy. Like, growing up, this is what we used to put on.
I actually can't wait to be that person. I think so. My dad is not a film guy, but music, that's his bag. And I can't play like any song that has a sample without him being like, that's Luther Vandross. That's not that's not, or whoever it is. Like, I'm playing. I can't wait to be that person with films to my like kids, grandkids.
100%. I was like thinking about it. I was like, Rush Hour blended two things I liked. and it did it to such an elite standard, yeah, it has to be for me.
And it is so good. That is a great second choice.
It has to be.
Okay, we're going to number one. We're going to number one. This film that both of us are about to say individually is what we consider to be what we consider to be our personal greatest film of all time. I'll go first, then I'll let you end again. But with this one, I actually think so. I know I've been like throwing out the disclaimer that like, oh, if you see me like a week after this comes out, don't question whether my choices have changed. But this one has remained at number one for years now, so I think we're good. I don't think it will change. And the film that I'm putting at number one, genuinely, I'm trying to build it up because I actually think this film is so good. I just think it has everything. And I think conceptually, it's actually really simple. It's not like nothing mad happens. Like, it's not, it's simple. And also it's like reality, like it's based on reality. But the film that I'm picking is David Fincher's The Social Network. I actually think that The Social Network is my favourite film of all time. I actually can't tell you how much I love that film. Okay. I think Jesse Eisenberg in it. So, first of all, no one can tell me that he's not Mark Zuckerberg. I don't care. I don't ever want to meet Mark Zuckerberg because I've seen him already and it's Jesse Eisenberg on the screen.
Okay, yeah, fair.
He actually just, everything about it. Andrew Garfield, oh my God. Like, so if I was going to do Act It Out, which I'm not doing, even in season 2.
But you should,
but
if
I was going...
Because you wanted to. You're about to do it. Like,
if I was going to do it, the scene that I would do is when Andrew Garfield, so he plays Eduardo, and he like, if you've watched the film, he's like, was part of Facebook originally, and then they kind of cut him out. Plays Eduardo, and he comes in and he's like screaming, like angry because they've diluted his shares down to anything. And he's like, sorry, my Pradas are the cleaners. And it's like, oh my God. Like, the script is insane. You actually get so like wound up by all of them, really. You get wound up by all of them. Bearing in mind, these are people that, so they're really smart, eventually really rich, white men that go to, is it Harvard, MIT, or Yale? One of the three.
Yeah, I think, but yeah. One of them.
One of them. I don't actually resonate with you, like at all. We have nothing in common. I don't resonate with you. But you watch the film and you feel like you like them, you hate them, you're wound up by them, you want them to succeed, you want them to fail. It is so good. And also, guys, Justin Timberlake's performance in that film.
Justin had a second where I thought he might...
He can die happy knowing that he did that.
He can't die happy.
He can die happy.
Because he hates women.
Well...
Black women. I was going to say black women first.
Yeah, he's a bit dodgy. But on an acting...
But he also hates women. But also, I've given props to Brad Pitt.
Well, yeah, who's also got some... But
you know what?
But
both of them put in good acting
performance alone, if I'm able to like separate that, his acting performance in The Social Network
let me give a disclaimer here. On this pod today, we are separating the art from the artist.
Yeah.
Just today.
Because it just won't work otherwise.
Yeah. Just today. So JT, well done.
Oh my God, his performance is so good. And I just think there's something about the pacing of the film as well that I love. Because it takes place over, you follow it for years. You follow them for years, sorry. And if you've watched it, obviously you'll know. And if you haven't, it's basically, you follow them for years. And the whole years are punctuated by the lawsuit that's happening where, they're arguing over that their shares of Facebook and who created them, whatever. So it's punctuated by that. And the pacing, everything about it is... Even the...
When you deep it, is Oppenheimer just Nolan trying to make The Social Network?
So I said, after Oppenheimer, no exaggeration, I literally said this to my sister, I was like, it felt kind of Social Network. I loved Oppenheimer, loved it. And I was like, it felt kind of Social Networky. And my sister was like, no, it didn't. Like, obviously, one's about making Facebook, one's about a bomb. So on the surface, it does not feel like it is.
But they both ruined society.
And they're both grappling. But the way in which they... Sorry, I just heard what you said.
I'm just saying. But
the way in which they grapple with their decisions, I'd say, because I don't think that... So with Oppenheimer, obviously, he... in theory, like, regretted making the bomb. But in on Facebook, in The Social Network, I don't think he regretted making Facebook, but I think he regretted the way in which his decisions like unfolded and things
But you know
unfolded.
what? I agree with you, and I reckon that's even why they're saying. But I think Oppenheimer regretted the fact that the bomb is. I think it's the fact that the
What
bomb
happened?
was
Yeah,
used
the
on
situation.
people.
Yeah.
Like, he wanted to make it.
Yeah.
He just didn't want them to use it on people.
Yeah,
Like, if they
and
could've
so
just
I
dropped
do
it in
think
the
it's
sea-
similar. And I even think, again, like what I was saying about like it being punctuated by the lawsuit, not exactly the same, but it is similar in that it is, the pacing is punctuated by the politics of it all, let's say. But no, I think Social Network, honestly, I can watch it like, I could watch it weekly for like the rest of my life. I actually think it's so, so good.
No, Robert Zemeckis, sorry.
Okay.
Robert Zemeckis. Back to the Future, one of my favourite sci-fi films ever. Great comedy, all of this. Romancing the Stone, proper rom-com, adventure rom-com as well, which is an underrated genre. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? A lot of people say that's probably, arguably, the best
Animated
film.
yeah, people do say
All
that.
time. Like, crazy film. Watch that again like 100 times. Also directed a little-known film in the 90s called Forrest Gump.
Is that your favourite film? Is that your number one?
It's my number one.
Oh,
it's not my
okay.
favourite film, but it is the best film. And I'll
Okay.
explain why it is the best film.
Yeah.
Forrest Gump has to be regarded as the best film ever because it is a great like rom-com. I wouldn't even say rom-com, it's just romantic.
Just, yeah.
Like his parts with Jenny are just romantic. Like they're cute. And like I don't like as a kid, I didn't care about romance films or whatever, man. Like
Yeah.
like I get it, you have to have a love interest, move on. Like but with Forrest Gump, I remember being like a preteen and being like, yo, Jenny's doing you so dirty, man. Like, I was sad. I was like, yo, like Jenny. Like, I even remember getting mad at my teens, like, yo, like Forrest lived this amazing life and Jenny just accepts him at the end when she's had her crazy life. Like, that's not fair. Like, she wasn't really trying to hear Forrest the whole time. Like she moved
I also
on.
remember kind of not really liking her.
Yeah, I don't like Jenny.
Yeah, and I
You
remember
deserve
thinking,
better.
I'm not sure does this film want me to like her? Like, does the director want me to like her? Or maybe, I remember thinking that as well when I first watched it.
I'm not even going to give my judgments on Jenny because if I do, it's going to sound like I'm misogynist. I promise you, I'm not. I'm trying
Just
to be an
Jenny
ally.
specific.
But it's Jenny. Yeah, Jenny was not hearing it from Forrest like that, and I'm not. She was doing him so dirt throughout that film. Yeah, it's obviously an amazing comedy. It's actually a great war film. It's a great action. Like the beginning bits when they're in like Vietnam. Like, you could put them up against nearly any war film.
So good.
Like, it feels like the first, like, quarter is Platoon, which is one of the greatest war films ever. Like, the way they're going through the jungle and all of this. Not even the first quarter, because I forgot there's the coming of age bit. Like,
Yeah,
when
they
he's a
go
kid,
back, yeah.
Like, there's so many, it's literally
It's
about
so
9
good.
different films in one. Like, there's
I also
so
had
many
no
elements.
idea. I don't think I knew what it was, or what it was like. Sorry, not what it was about. I kind of knew what it was about. But before I watched, I think I watched it when I was like 20. It wasn't, and I didn't know that whole like the difference. That I was like, what are we watching here? Like, what's going on? But it took me on a journey. It
Like,
really did.
All you know is a life is like a box of chocolates bit. And you think
Yeah.
it's comedy bit.
It was gonna be this
about a
cute little
guy,
film.
Yeah, who is allegedly neurodivergent. We don't know anything about him. Like, you just know that he's like,
Yeah.
he's not quite, quote unquote, normal for want of a better term.
Yeah.
And but when you like unravel it, there's all of these different strands. Like, there's always comedy going through it. There's always action going through it. There's literally political commentary throughout it. Like,
It's
the
so
fact
good,
that-
yeah.
That Lieutenant Dan comes back from the war and he's a vet and he's become disabled because of like an explosion and nobody looks after him in the state. He's just got fun. There's so much going on. There's all of these levels, yeah. And like, it's a film that most people watch 8 times before they finish secondary school. Like, it's one of those, like, when they used to wheel out the VHS.
I was gonna
DVD
say the first
school.
time I watched a section of it was in school, like in secondary school. Yeah.
Like, it's just one of those ones. But there's just bears going on. Talks about music. Like, it's got such a good, like, portrayal and dissection of America, like, and the problems with it. Like, I didn't even deep until now at this age. Like, the stuff that's going on, like I said, with the war and, like, with how they treat Bubba Gump and, like, all of this stuff. Like, there's bear going on. It even has a race commentary. Like, what the hell? Like, what
It's
the
so
hell?
good, yeah.
Why is this film
Covering everything.
Like, what is
Like-
going on? Like, it's bears. Like, I don't understand. Robert Zemeckis, yeah, well done. That's cinema.
like our if we like combined our lists into 6 films for people to watch, that would it'd really cover
100%.
cover a lot of cinema.
Number 3 again?
So you had Spirited Away, Rush Hour, Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
And I had Shrek 2, Inception, and Social Network.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's
like
crazy lineup. I mean, that's
cinema,
crazy lineup.
high cinema coverage.
I think you would develop incredible taste just off
agreed.
films.
Agreed.
Like, you'd watch those 6 films and you'd suddenly just get cinema.
Yeah.
Okay, like,
that's what I mean. Yeah.
The breadth of it. Yeah.
I feel like it covers like what we were saying, like all the different elements as well
100%.
of like what makes a good film. What we're gonna do now to round up the show. We'll end every episode with this. It's a trivia quiz. Conceptually very simple. So all you have to do is...
I'm actually testing my knowledge now. I don't understand.
I know, put you through your paces here at Silver Screen Society.
Right now? Like, I feel like you haven't been put through any paces.
I have held it all together.
Okay.
And you've enjoyed yourself, really, haven't you?
Yeah.
So it's all fine.
Okay. Fair enough.
Concept of the trivia quiz is I ask the questions, you answer them. If you know the answer, you can tell me to skip if you don't. There's a leaderboard as well. So every guest that comes on is subjected to this trivia quiz and we'll tell you where you are in the leaderboard once you're done.
Oh, I'm scared.
And it's a minute, 60 seconds on the clock. 3, 2, 1, go. Who played the character of Marty McFly in the Back to the Future trilogy?
Michael J. Fox.
Yep. What is the name of the spaceship in the movie Star Wars that Han Solo pilots? Yep. Which actor portrayed the Terminator in the 84 and 91 films? Yep. Who starred as Indiana Jones in the 1981 film? Yep. What is the name of the family in the animated TV show The Simpsons? Yeah. What 1990 film stars Patrick Swayze, Demi Moore, and Whoopi Goldberg and features... Yep. Who directed the 1982 science fiction film E.T.? Which 1984 comedy features a group of scientists who start a ghost catching business in New York City? Yep. Which 1988 comedy film features Eddie Murphy as an African prince traveling to Queens, New York?
Come to America.
Yep. Who played the character of Alex P. Keaton on the TV show Family Ties?
Oh, I forgot his name. Nah, skip.
It's also Michael J. Fox. What 1983 movie is famous for the line "Say hello to my little friend"?
Scarface.
Yep. Which actor played the title character in the 1988 film Beetlejuice?
Skip.
Michael Keaton.
I knew the Beetlejuice one as well. I was getting excited about Beetlejuice 2 coming out as well.
Did you guys know what we were going to talk about when you came up with these questions? It's a bit scary how many things...
I thought the first question kind of threw me off.
Yeah, I was like, what? The next question as well is about Pretty Woman. That if I got to that, that's weird. Scary. Top of the leaderboard. Yeah, that was impressive. No, that was very impressive.
Anytime someone beats that score coming back in I need to make sure I top that leaderboard.
No, I mean, that was a very, very impressive performance. But yeah, Scully, I don't know if you want to sign out with anything, shout out your podcast, anything like that.
Find us at Played in Full on Twitter and on Instagram. Yeah, on Twitter and Instagram. It's not Twitter anymore, it's X. Shout out to Social Network. Yeah, follow me at Is That Scully. I talk about film all the time. Literally all the time. If anything, go follow my letterbox. I'm always talking about films. That's what I like.
That's a good shout for your letterbox, actually. Yeah.
100%. That's it.
All right. Well, thanks for coming, Scully.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Bye. Thanks for watching an episode of Silver Screen Society. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, all of that. Bye.